I feel like I should start by making a callback to our first speaker. Would you believe that I made this myself? And the hat is also secondhand. And I'll make a callback to our... Thank you. I'll make a callback to our second speaker. I've eaten a banana before. You're getting neither a PhD candidate or stand-up comedian. You're getting man who's really obsessed with Survivor tonight. You're getting twists in Survivor, losing faith in your format. The reason it's called that is because my alternative title, How Production Has Changed the Way Survivor is Played Through the Use of Twists Over the Course of the Past 23 Years in an Attempt to Make the Game More Exciting. You guys vetoed that. Why? I thought we were nerds here. Oh well. So I'll start with my qualifications because you can't get a PhD in really liking Survivor. So I've been a Survivor fan since 2012, which doesn't sound that impressive, but I am 24, so that's a long time for me. Survivor started in the year 2000, so if I was a fan since then, that would be quite tricky. I've seen every season many times, including the international versions and the New Zealand version, where I freaked out meeting the winner of Survivor New Zealand, who was in the bottom left there. And a fun fact is that she lives in Christchurch, which makes me unable to call myself the biggest Survivor fan in Christchurch. And one of my favorite fun facts is that the 2 Survivor seasons I started with are considered the worst Survivor seasons of all time, and yet I'm still here. So when I talk about Survivor, do you guys know what is going on, or is someone in the back going, "Yes, I love Destiny's Child"? Cool. Both? Good. Good. So you take 16 to 20 people, you strand them on an island, you split them into teams, they compete against one another and vote each other out for $1 million, and there have currently been 44 seasons spanning 23 years. So clearly the show has some legs to it. And a fun fact, I say you strand them on an island. That photo is from season 17. They were stranded in the middle of Africa, which is, I suppose, technically everything's an island. But the way you win Survivor has changed a lot over the years. So I'll start with how you win Survivor in season 1. You vote out your competitors until 2 people are left. The jury, which is made up of the people who you voted off in the second half of the game, they vote for who they want to win, and then the winner goes to jail for not paying his taxes. And I'll end the presentation talking about how you win Survivor in season 44, 23 years later, and you'll see that it's changed quite a bit. In fact, this clip from the 2002 season Survivor Marquesas.
Have a deal.
Yeah, we got a deal. But
no sound.
I need time to talk to
All right, I'll just lip sync.
Yeah.
She's saying, "Hey, Jeff, can I whisper?" And Jeff said, "No, you're not allowed to whisper. You're in a place where we vote people out. The jury has to watch it, and everyone has to be able to hear what's happening so they can make an informed decision at the end." So 2002, Survivor, whispering, banned. You're not allowed to do it. 2019 Survivor, no sound. Just watch it. You'll see, funnily enough, we don't need sound because
some
they're
people
whispering.
trying to misdirect, some hoping this plan goes through.
Yeah, I'm actually seeing, I think, a lot of desperation. Look at all these conversations that are happening. Everybody's trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
I wouldn't want to ask a question. It's just way better just to watch.
That's right.
Oh, she's there we go. And it's on.
Okay.
Hi.
Oh my God.
Remember me?
Yes, I remember you.
So we went from 2002, you're not allowed to whisper because the jury has to hear what's happening, to 2019, Jeff Probst is having the time of his life watching 6 different conversations happen at once. So what changed between 2002 and 2019 to get us to this point? And I think the answer to that is twists, where production sees their show going in a direction they don't like, and they implement new rules or changes to try and make it better. It doesn't always work. And so what I've done is I've picked out 5 major twists on Survivor that pointed the show in a new direction. How long do you think it took for them to first lose faith in their format?
8 years.
8 years? No. It took 1 year. With the tribe switch, because a problem in Survivor is, let's say we're at the merge and my team has 7 people and your team has 3 people. What am I going to do? I'm going to pick you off one by one and then duke it out with the other 6 people on my team. And so by introducing the tribe switch, they've tried to solve this problem by having more relationships that can be formed. By mingling the 2 tribes together and reshuffling them every now and again, more relationships are formed and the game becomes more fluid and more dynamic because people care more about each other. Did this work? Yeah. There were 37 seasons out of 44 that have had a tribe switch, and 22 of them had a final 4, which is the last 4 people left in the game, coming from multiple tribes. However, it didn't stop dominant alliances forming, which is when people get together and agree they're just going to vote other people out. So those still formed within these swapped up tribes. Now they're just coming from multiple different tribes instead of one. So did they solve the problem they were trying to solve? Not really, but they coasted with it for a while. When do you think they next gave up?
8 years later.
8 years. Now 8 years is pretty close. It was season 13, so 7 years into the run. They found a problem in Survivor is that when you have 2 people left, the best player gets voted out in 3rd place and doesn't win. So what if instead of that, we make the final 2 a final 3? And now the best player can be in that final 3. Can anyone think what immediately happened? Yeah, they started voting out the best. So did this solve the problem? No. Have they stubbornly continued to do it for 35 more seasons in an attempt to make it work? Yes. And we'll get to another way they tried to make this work later. But the next twist, they gave up again 6 years later with the hidden immunity idol, which tried to solve the problem that they failed to solve with the tribe switch. They said, okay, now minority alliances can find this special idol, and if you play it, you can't get voted out. This led to a complete shift in how production viewed Survivor as a game as a whole, led to what I called the Russell Hantz effect. Because if you guys know anything about Survivor, it's probably this guy, because he was a guy who found lots of idols, he used them, and he managed to turn a 8-4 minority in a 4-0 majority. He managed to dominate the game, not win, because Survivor's a social game and everyone hated him. But he managed to get his friend to win, so that was nice of him. This could be a whole talk in of itself about how they had Russell Hantz on Survivor 4 times in the span of 3 seasons. And then the next season they had his nephew on. They tried to do some sort of Hantz family Survivor type thing. But another name for the Russell Hantz effect is the hide random stuff on an island effect. In this graph here, you can see the advantages over time. You can see that it has picked up dramatically, and I predict that by season 50, there will be 20 different advantages per season. You may note that, well, you probably don't know, but I'll tell you. Russell Hantz was in season 19 and 20, and there was a delay, but that's what happens. Someone does something, people keep copying him to prove that it's a good idea and popular, and then it picks up steam over time. So the hidden immunity idol, a good twist that actually solved the problem, but it didn't solve the problem of the final 3. So let's go back to solving that problem instead. The best player gets voted out in 4th place now. What if we make it so we can't vote them out anymore? So now if I win at the final 4, I get to choose one person to come with me. I'll choose you. I'll probably lose. And then I'll make you 2 compete in a fire making challenge. You're going to win. So what do you think happened now to the best player? They get voted out in 5th place now. So I can't wait for the final 6 fire making challenge. What's my next slide? Now, this is just one that I find funny. You know how they added a bunch of things to the game that made it way too complicated and confusing? They've now added a twist to the game to remove twists to the game. If only random people weren't hiding things on an island, we wouldn't have to do this, says the man hiding random things on the island. Yes, hidden immunity idols, we went from having 1 or 2 per season to having upwards of 7 or 8 per season. It became so that idols were being played literally from the final 9 to the final 5, one after the other. And so they introduced a twist where you can now nullify someone's idol that they found by finding something. I would just hide fewer idols. So let's look at how you win Survivor in 2023. You try to vote out your competitors, but now you watch out for idols. You also watch out for the idol nullifiers. And you also watch out for the idol nullifier, which will be coming in season 47, I'm sure. Then you'll have 4 people left, and then we'll do a fire-making challenge. Then you'll have 3 people left, and then the jury will vote for a winner. And then you don't go to jail for tax evasion. While the skeleton is the same, there's had a lot of fat added to it over the course of 23 years to make it a bloated mess compared to what it used to be. And yet it's still one of the most viewed TV shows weekly in the States. So maybe the only people who hate Survivor is Survivor fans. Now, there are a few twists that I glossed over because I had to. If you want to ask a question after this presentation, here's an easy one. Choose some random words on the screen and ask me what it is. There have been seasons with every single one of these advantages in them, and it's so very much unnecessary. But it does mean that I could do another nerd night with just another 5 random twists and tell you what's going on there. If you want to hear me talk more about Survivor, just talk to me. My friends are all sick of it. I need... But if the act of talking to me seems like a lot of effort, I was on a podcast recently where my friend said, "Hey, Henry, can you talk about Survivor for 40 minutes?" And I said, "No, I can do it for 3 hours." So if you want to check out this podcast, this is part 1. Part 2 will come out later. And part 3, later than that. I will now open the room for questions. This hat is actually functional at blocking out the light. Hello.
What's the legacy?
The legacy advantage is a hidden immunity idol that you find at the start of the game, and then you can't use it until the final 6. But if you get voted out, you give it to someone else. And so it was meant to be a sort of, oh, if you tell someone you have the legacy advantage, maybe they'll protect you, or maybe they'll backstab you. What happened is that no one told anyone about it, and then they just had an idol at the final 6, unless they incidentally got voted out. And then someone else had an idol at the final 6. Yep.
You're clearly aware of a lot of the things that people find ridiculous about the show.
Yep.
What do you like?
Oh. I hate this show. No, I think going to the core of what Survivor's meant to be, you take people from different walks of life, put them on an island, and see how they interact, what bonds are formed, and what happens. Season 1 was beautiful because the strongest alliance was between a nudist gay man and a 74-year-old homophobic Marine. And by being exposed to each other's walks of life, they built this beautiful friendship and bond that they never would have had if they had not been on Survivor. So it's seeing people interact with people that they never would have interacted with in any other point in their life. And also Jeff Probst is pretty cool. Sir,
How do you think you would do on Survivor?
poorly. I was thinking about this morning, about how as I get older, my dreams and aspirations get more and more depressing. When I first started watching Survivor in 2012, I was like, man, I'd go on and I'd win $1 million and it would, pay for everything for the rest of my life. And now I'm like, I'd get on, get voted out in like 5th place. No, not 5th place. I'd be voted out about 5th maybe. And then I'd get like a few thousand social media followers and then fade into obscurity. That's my goal. Do I see a hand up the back? I do.
Yeah, the world's smallest asteroid comes down and only kills Jet,
Yeah.
wiping out Survivor.
Yeah.
What do you watch next?
Paint dry? I don't know.
Celebrity treasure.
Yeah. No. The next person who mentions Celebrity Treasure Island to me will get my sad face. Because that show took away Survivor New Zealand, and I'm sad about it.
Okay. Sorry.
You should be. Back there.
So what is your favorite season and why?
Ooh, my favorite season is season 18, Survivor Token Scenes. And it is because it has one character who's so larger than life and ridiculous, but takes himself so seriously that you can't tell if he's like this in real life or playing a character for the show. What came out after the show is that he is just like this in real life. One of his quotes, he calls himself the Dragon Slayer because he dubbed one of his opponents the Dragon. And he said, "The dragon may come for me, but hit me with your best shot, Martin Luther King." And it's just so funny. One more? I can't see. Hello.
Second place being the other corner over there.
Other corner,
My only question was, how should I go for it? What do you think about Treasure Island?
I spend every waking minute trying not to think about Treasure Island. Genuinely, I'm so angry about what it took that I haven't watched the show. I refuse.
I had to put my hand down after you said that, so thank you very much.
Do I have time for one more? Yeah.
Would
Sorry.
you rather watch Treasure Island or pull your eye out?
Do you know me?
Yes.
Okay. Are you telling me to pull my eye out?
Yes.
Okay. I guess I will. I would rather pull my eye out than watch Treasure Island. Oh, thank you. I was really worried that I wasn't going to get one, just because it would have been funnier.
Thank you, Henry.